Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another training session. And for today's topic, I would like to share with you the overwhelming information I found online in terms of job opportunities here in Singapore for telemarketers. So I went through a couple of job searches just to understand the demand of telemarketing in Singapore, and it's really amazing that the opportunities to get a job in so many industries as a telemarketer can be overwhelming at the very least. So let me just share with you quickly the industries or positions that I've seen that are on top search here in Singapore. So if you're watching from Singapore, this could be something interesting for you. I'm also going to share with you the telemarketers that I have worked with in the past in terms of their age group, their position, their gender, their life situation, and everything. So let me just share with you the top telemarketing jobs in Singapore that are on high demand. Salary wise, I've noticed the pattern is somewhere between 3,500 Singapore dollars up to 4,500 Singapore dollars. And it is actually quite an interesting flow, of opportunities here. And I can see 600 something alone job openings for this position. So again, this is in Singapore. In one of the videos, I'll also cover other countries just to look at the demographics of people who are watching our channel. And I've seen also a big population of Filipino communities in the Philippines started to watch my channel. So, hello po, kamusta po kayo dyan? So I will definitely cover that as well in another video. But for today, I just want to cover the telemarketing jobs on demand in Singapore. So I've seen the demand for banking telemarketers, appointment setter, receptionist slash telemarketing hospitality industry, call center for healthcare, telesales executive, fresh grad or youngsters, also, the demand for customer service translator, very interesting. The languages you translate would be English to Mandarin, Mandarin to English. And then also, I've seen automobile telemarketing and insurance telemarketing. Of course, I've seen a lot of opportunities for call center team manager. So and then the list still goes on and on. So I just want to cover this today because if you are again someone who's looking for something new, let me just share with you. Okay, let me just back up a bit. Let me just share with you the telemarketers, the type of telemarketers I have worked with in the past. Basically, the trend of telemarketers, in my experience, and this has been the same pattern on all countries I've worked as a telemarketer, as a telemarketer coach, as a program manager. Basically, the nature of telemarketing age group ranges from, I would say, we have 30s, we have 40s, we have 50s, and we have early 60s. In fact, here in Singapore, when I was here, predominantly we have a lot of those even leaning on the mid 60s. I would say from 40s, 50s, and 60s and mid 60s. So who are the people that I've worked with who can be a telemarketer? So the question is, who can be a telemarketer? Personally, based on my experience, the age group ranges from 30s to 40s, 50s, up to mid 60s. In terms of gender, Predominantly it's female, but there's still a handful of male telemarketers, but I must say it's predominantly female. Interestingly, a lot of them are retirees, those on the 50s and 60s, mid 60s. They're usually doing telemarketing because they are a retired teacher, a retired accountant, and all that. So it's very interesting that they go for telemarketing position, even if this is not really what they've done when they were young and during their prime years in corporate world. They were actually doing other things, and then as soon as they retired, they found themselves telemarketing. So I just want to share that to you as well. So who can be a telemarketer? We also had like youngsters. In my experience, we had a lot of youngsters who are still studying, finishing their education, maybe on their 19, 18, 19, 20. That's what I meant by youngsters. Some of them, I remember at the time, are trying to finish their education and looking for additional income and a part-time job, and they were able to find part-time telemarketing position. So this is also a job that can be welcoming to newly grads or still studying youngsters we have in the community. Also, another experience I can share with you with newly grads why they go for telemarketing as a job is also they're trying to get experience, and I think it's a very good choice. Personally, that's what happened to me. I went for a telemarketing job without fully understanding whether this is going to be a long-term career for me or whether it's going to be a short-term career for me. But all I know was I wanted to make some extra money for myself. At the same time, I wanted to gain experience. And at that point, I felt like I had nothing to lose. And here I am, 2.5 decades later, trying to share inspiration to those who probably are youngsters as well, who are trying to look for a job to gain experience. Experience is very important when you're also so young. It's a very good experience to work in an environment like telemarketing because it helps to develop your personality. So I'm going to go in depth of that in another video. But today's video, like I said, is about telemarketing opportunities in Singapore. Again, you could be a retired person watching my video and you're trying to figure out how to pass the time, especially here in Singapore. Interestingly, a lot of taxi drivers, a lot of aunties, as we would call it in some offices, they had proper profession during the time that they were young and still before retiring period of their lives, and they ended up doing part-time jobs and jobs to pass the time because it's good for their sanity, and I get it. And I think telemarketing is so fitting because you're constantly talking to people and they like that. You don't really think about a lot of negative stuff when you're talking to someone. So we have a big group of that age group doing telemarketing. Of course, I just want to share as well. In the Philippines, when I was working there, we had a handful of handicap. We had three blind staff, but I have to tell you, these three blind people we had were the top telemarketers in the entire program. They were really quadrupling sales that an average telemarketer could do. And this is also a good opportunity for them because all they have to do is, as long as they're able to speak on the phone, as long as they have the patience to speak to a client or do a presentation, and as days go by or weeks go by, they develop some skill to overcome objection. They get better, they get more experience. So we also had one lady before, she was on a wheelchair, and she goes to work on wheelchair. So these are the kind of job that they can do, because obviously they are handicapped, but doesn't mean they are totally unable to do anything. And telemarketing is the most fitting job, I would say, for not just for the retiree, but also for handicaps who have the communication skill, who have done telephone operator, reservation officer back in the day. This could be another transition for you, if you're looking for something to do in Singapore. So there's a lot of jobs for that position. And of course, in terms of the industry, the number of industries that are opening their arms to welcome telemarketer applicants is endless. There's the banking, there's the hospitality, there's the automobile, there's health insurance, there's healthcare. And it's just you can go from one agency to another, but you will not run out of opportunities. So, again, today's video, I just want to shout out to Singaporean viewers. If any of you are currently thinking about what to do to pass your time, or you want to make additional income, you're still supporting your family or yourself, or you love to talk, you're just a people person and you wanted to do something different, again, open your open your mind, because maybe telemarketing is for you. And if you just happen to bump into my channel for whatever reason, and then there's suddenly a light bulb effect to you and say, that lady is giving me an idea to maybe I can try to apply as a telemarketer, given my life situation and my age and my availability and my liking for talking to people. So please go and check out all the job opportunities that we have in Singapore. There's a lot. Like I said, when I went to one job portal, there's about 600 something that I checked as of today. And, there's, if you have 600 plus job opportunities, it's an indication of a very high demand for that position. So I hope that today's video will open up and give you some ideas. If you're in a place where you're looking for something to do and you want something to learn, check out those job openings in Singapore. At the same time, I just want to share with you before I close today's session that my channel is slowly branching into different aspects or segments of telemarketing. And what it means is I'm going to also start talking about training for if you're doing telemarketing on healthcare, if you're doing customer service, if you are in an inbound call, outbound call, if you're doing face-to-face selling, if you're doing appointment setting. I'm going to branch on so many different topics because telemarketing is so big and it's still growing. And certainly it's not dead, looking at the job opportunities that we have in Singapore. Like I said, in the next video, I just want to also I'm going to do my research and cover also the job opportunities in the Philippines for call centers. And this would hopefully send a message that would give ideas to people of all walks of life. Just like what I've mentioned earlier, retiree, looking for something to do, handicap, all these things, this might be something that would open up some opportunities for you as well. So again, today's video is dedicated to my Singaporean viewers. Please don't be shy sending a comment to our comment section. If any of you have any topics that you want me to cover or to talk about and do a research for you, I'm happy to go through that. Like I said, I hope that today's video gave you a bit of idea, and I will see you on the next training session. Have a good day, everyone, and enjoy the beautiful weather in Singapore today. Bye, guys.